Christmas is here. Look around about you and see what a world of wonder this world can be. Sing a Christmas carol, sing a Christmas carol, sing a Christmas carol, children do, and enjoy the beauty of the joy of beauty that a Merry Christmas can bring to you.
Why can't they leave a man in peace? Get on with your work, Cratchit.
Uncle Ebenezer!
Ah!
I cannot tell you what a joy it is to see your happy smiling face.
Oh, it's you.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
God save me from Christmas. The lot of humbug.
Christmas a humbug. Come now, Uncle. I'm sure you don't mean that.
And I'm sure I do mean that. Merry Christmas. Indeed. What reason do you have to be merry? You're poor enough.
And what reason do you have to be miserable? You're rich enough.
There is no such thing as rich enough. Only poor enough.
Don't be so dismal, Uncle Ebenezer.
What else can I be when I live in a world of fools babbling Merry Christmas at one another? What is Christmas but the time for finding yourself another year older and not a day richer? There's nothing merry in that, I tell you. If I could work my way, nephew, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stick of honey through his heart.
God forbid, Uncle.
You keep Christmas in your way, and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Hey! Get off me, ledger! Ruin me by me. And leave me alone. And be good enough to leave me alone, sir, during business hours.
7 o'clock on Christmas Eve? That's not business hours, that's drudgery for the sake of it. And an insult to all men of goodwill. Here, here. Thank you, Bob Cratchit.
One more word out of you, Cratchit, and you'll be celebrating Christmas by losing your position.
Sorry, sir.
You're quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into politics. You're fool enough.
Come now, Uncle. Don't be angry. Dine with my wife and me tomorrow.
Oh, as though you hadn't got enough problems, you went and got yourself married. Now, why in God's name did you ever do that?
Because I fell in love with the lady.
Bah! If there's one thing in the world more nauseating than a Merry Christmas, it's the hypocrisy of a happy marriage to some love-sick idiot female. Good afternoon, sir.
My offer still stands. You are always welcome, Uncle. Just like Christmas itself.
I said good afternoon.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. Bob Cratchit, and your family.
Oh, thank you, sir, and to your good lady.
Owen Jungle, a happy new year.
Good afternoon.
Excuse me, sir. What, it's 7 o'clock, sir?
Correct, Cratchit.
I do wish to be in touch with Mr. Scrooge, but would it be too much trouble if I earn my wages, sir?
The trouble with you, Cratchit, is all you think about is pleasure and squandering money. You'll be wanting the whole day off tomorrow, I suppose.
If it's convenient, sir?
It is not convenient, sir, and it is not fair.
Well, it is Christmas Day, Mr. Scrooge, and it is only once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. I don't pay good money for you to be forever on holiday.
I appreciate your kindness, Mr. Scrooge.
That's me weakness. I'm a martyr to my own generosity. I give you one Christmas day off, and you expect them all. Oh, very well. Take the day. But be here all the earlier the next morning.
Oh, I will, sir.
Very good.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Oh, and a Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Be gone from here! And take your infernal Merry Christmas with you!
I beg your pardon, sir. No offense, sir.
There's another one. 15 shillings a week, a wife and 4 children. And still talks about a Merry Christmas. What the... Belong in a lunatic asylum. There's a lot of them.
You are a philosopher and a gentleman, and I have 15 shillings in my pocket.
15 shillings?
15 shillings would say the Cratchit family will have as good a Christmas as the Lord Mayor of London himself. Christmas children peep into Christmas windows. See a world as pretty as a dream.
Christmas trees and toys, Christmas hopes and joys.
Christmas food is rich with Christmas cream. Christmas presents shine in the Christmas window. Christmas boxes tied with pretty found.
Wonder what this time.
What delights they hide.
But till Christmas morning, no one knows.
You with 4 children in this country. 4 children. Thank you, John.
Won't it be exciting if it snows? I suppose that children everywhere would say a Christmas prayer.
Till Santa brings their Christmas things. Where them, my loves? I bought the finest bread in the shop, where the finest 1 for 1 and 4 pence.
Maybe Christmas is
Till we hold the Christmas morning, Christmas days are wonder to behold. The young ones' dreams come true, not so young ones too. Sleep and soul. Christmas is for children young and old.
Good evening, sir. Have we the pleasure of addressing Mr. Marley or Mr. Scrooge?
It is no pleasure to me, sir, to be addressed by either of you. And Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years. 7 years this very night.
We have no doubt that his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
Mr. Scrooge, sir. A few of us are gathering donations to buy the poor some meat and drink.
What may we put you down for, sir?
Nothing, madam.
You wish to remain anonymous?
I wish to be left alone, sir. That is what I wish. I do not make myself merry at Christmas, and I cannot afford to make idle people merry. I have been forced to support the prisons and workhouses through taxation, and God knows they cost more than they're worth. And those who are badly off must go there.
Many would rather die than go there.
If they would rather die, then they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Good night. Humbug. Poppycock. Balderdash. I hate people. I hate people. People are destroyed. Load them inexplicable creatures. Good for nothing. Kickable creatures. I hate people. I abhor them. When I see these infant classes punching tails from eagle and glasses, singing 5 and 4 to passes, I hate people. I detest them. I deplore them. Fools who have no money spend it, get in debt, then try to end it, beg me on their knees, befriend them, knowing I have cash to lend them. Soft-hearted me, hard-working me, clean living, thrifty, and kind as can be, are of interest. Today.
What with it being Christmas, sir? We've given people an extra week or two to pay, so you see, sir.
That is your business, cost you a further 12 shillings.
Well, for Mr. Scrooge, sir, we scarcely make that much in a week.
If you would prefer me to confiscate your stores, madam, and their contents, which is my legal right, I would do so.
No, we'll pay, sir.
You both sign this. Then give me a pair of these.
Oh, certainly, Mr. Scrooge.
I hate people. I loathe people. I despise and abominate people. Life is full of infection. What's there? It is infection. It's the mind and it is infection further than I can see. Little wonder. I hate people. And I don't care if they hate me.
There you are, sir. Thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Jenkins.
Merry Christmas to you, sir. Hot broth, Mr. Scrooge? A small token of the Christmas season with a compliment to Tom Jenkins.
No.
And there'll be a free can of broth every night throughout the coming year, sir. In gratitude for your infinite kindness in giving me another 2 weeks of pay.
1 week.
10 days.
1 week.
Nine.
1 week.
One week.
Put a lid on that stuff. I'll take it home. Bah! Let the little one earn her own pennies, like I have to.
Oh, look! There's that lovable Father Christmas!
Nonsense. What? Humbug! Oh, it's humbug, Steve! I'll not believe it! Impossible. You're dead. Bah!
You don't believe in me, do you?
No, I don't.
Why do you doubt what you see?
I had a slight stomach disorder. It has undoubtedly affected my vision. You are not real. You, sir, are a hallucination. Probably brought on by an undigested middle beef. Or an old potato. Yes, that's what you are. You're an old potato. I tell you, Mary, there's more of gravy than of grave about you. You do not exist, Jacob. Stop! I beseech you, stop!
chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard while on earth. And now I can never be rid of it. Any more than you will be rid of yours.
Mine? What?
Imagine the weight and the length of the mighty chain you are making, Scrooge. It was as long and as heavy as this 7 Christmases ago. And you have labored at it since. It is a terrible chain you are making, Scrooge.
Well, tell me more, man. Speak comfort to me.
I have none to give.
You were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Mankind is our business, Ebenezer! But how seldom we attend to it. And by it's too late.
This is a dream.
It's not a dream!
Oh, for pity's sake, Molly, leave me in peace.
It was for pity's sake I came here. Pity for you! I leave you now with just the tiniest chance of escaping my fate.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you.
You will be visited by 3 spirits.
Oh, I think I'd rather not.
The first will appear tonight when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once, Jacob, and get it over with?
The second at 2 o'clock, and the third when the bell tolls 3. I must go now.
Oh, no, Molly, wait.
I am doomed to wander the world in everlasting repentance.
Ah!
Remember what is passed between us. Farewell, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, my goodness. Jacob? And what business brings you here?
Your welfare.
My, what the hanging by a ghost at 1 o'clock in the morning is hardly conducive to my welfare.
Your redemption, then. Rise and walk with me.
Okay. Where are we going?
We are going to look at your childhood.
What?
Surprise! Wake up. Wake up.
Oh, it's my little sister. Oh, Baz. Why doesn't she wake back?
She cannot see nor hear you. These are the shadows of the things that have been.
I could never join those Christmas parties.
But the room is not quite empty, is it? A solitary boy, neglected by his family, is left as it is.
Oh. Poor little fellow. Poor little me. An attractive child, wasn't I? I wish
What do you wish?
there were some children singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given them something, that's all.
Oh, don't worry at all. It gets better in a moment.
Abby. Dear brother, I've come to bring you home.
Home, little fan?
Father is so much kinder than he used to be. He sent me in the coach to bring you home, Abby. We'll be together all Christmas long. Collect your things.
She had a large heart.
So she had. I'll not deny it.
She died a woman, and had, I believe, children.
One child.
Your nephew?
Yes.
You really enjoyed.
It's old Fezziwig. Oh, I was his apprentice.
I just find what you were.
And there I am.
Ebenezer, Tom, no more work tonight, me boys. Hi, it's Christmas Eve. Now come along, clear everything away before Mrs. Fezziwig and me daughters arrive with the punch bowl.
I am a good-looking chap, dear.
Mrs. Fezziwig, my dear friends, there will now be happiness and contentment in this room, the like of which none of us has seen before. Begin. Of all the days and all the years that I'm familiar with, there's only one that's really fun. December the 25th.
Correct, as Gaddy Wine called Robinson or Brown or Jones or Smith. Their favorite day and they will say
December the 25th. December the 25th. It is December the 25th. The dearest day in all the year. December the 25th.
Then why didn't you join in the dance?
Because I couldn't do it.
If there's a day in history that's more than any myth, beyond a doubt one day stands out December the 25th.
correct, I
Don't hear any arguments, so may I say forgive. I wish that every day could be December the 25th. December the 25th, it is in all the year. December the 25th, it is. December the 25th, it is. December the 25th, it is. December the 25th.
December the 25th.
Isabel.
Fezziwig's daughter. You were going to marry her, weren't you?
Yes. Isabel. Ah, those were wonderful days. I really did love her, you know.
Then why did you let her go?
I've never been quite sure.
Well, let's have a look and see.
Ebenezer,
Yes?
I've come to say goodbye. I'm going away, Ebenezer. You will not see me again.
You're going to marry me.
No, you must find another love to replace me, since she is much more desirable than I am.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This lady here.
How shall I ever understand this world? There's nothing on which it is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing that condemns with such severity as the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much, Ebenezer. All your nobler dreams I have loved, I've seen die out, one by one, until only the desire for gain is left.
Isabel, I find it impossible to discuss personal affairs during business hours. Now, please.
You see, if you weigh me by gain, I weigh very little. And so I release you, with a full heart, for the love of him you once were.
Well, say something, you fool! Say something!
I want to listen.
You may have pain in it, but it will pass, and you will dismiss the recollection of it gladly as an unprofitable dream, from which it happened while that you awoke.
Oh, please wait. Oh, don't go. It's a mistake. Don't go, please.
Be happy in the life you have chosen.
Isabel!
Isabel? Isabel, you fool! You fool.
December 25th, me dears, December 25th, the dearest day of years. December the 25th, me dears.
We must leave now.
Where is my past? Where is my past? I have seen it. Where is my past? Without any other resignation. Who are you?
I am the spirit of Christmas present. Now look upon me. You have never seen before.
Never.
And yet, how many of my brothers have you rejected in your miserable lifetime?
I have never met your brother, sir.
You have never looked for them.
But how many of them are there?
What year is this?
1860.
That I have 1,859 brothers. Each year at this time, one of us visits this puny planet to spread some happiness and to remove as many as we can of the causes of human misery. Which is why I have come to see you, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Let me assure you, sir, that I am a man of the highest principles and most generous spirit.
Generous spirit? You don't know the meaning of the phrase. But you are about to find out. Here, drink this.
What is it?
Taste it. You like it?
Oh, I've never tasted anything like it.
Of course you haven't.
Well, what is it?
It's the milk of human kindness. There are more good things in life, Scrooge, than you can possibly imagine.
Oh, I'm sure there are. Can I have some more?
I like life, life likes me. Life and I fairly fully agree. Life is fine, life is good, especially mine, which is just as it should be. I like pouring the wine, and why not? Life's a pleasure that I deny not. I like life here and now. Life and I made a mutual vow. Till I die, life and I will both try to be better somehow. And if life were a woman, she would be my wife.
Oh, why?
Why? Because I like life.
It's all well and good for you, sir. I hate life.
Scrooge, you're an even bigger fool than I took you for. Repeat after me. I like life.
I like life.
Life likes me.
Life likes
I make life a perpetual spree.
me. A perpetual spree.
Eating food,
Drinking wine.
thinking who'd like the privilege to dine me.
I like drinking the drink I'm drinking.
That's better, Scrooge. I like thinking the thoughts I'm thinking. Come on, Scrooge, we're going visiting. You're in for a few surprises. I like song, I like dance. I hear music and I'm in a trance.
Tra-la-la.
Papa,
Chances
I we shall get up and prance. Where there's music and laughter, happiness is right.
Why?
Why? Because I like life.
Yes.
See how much we like life.
What is going on? What the devil am I doing dancing in the street in the middle of me nightclothes, eh?
Over there lies the lavish home of Robert Cratchit, Esquire, who owes both the opulence of his surroundings and the magnificence of his Christmas celebration to the high principle and generous spirit of his employer.
I want to get a closer look.
It will cost you nothing, which I'm sure will be good news for you.
Will they be able to see me?
No, which I'm sure will be good news for them.
Nothing funny, Father.
Oh, the marriage of roast goose and sage and onion stuffing a la Cratchit is one of the culinary miracles of our day. A living legend throughout the length and breadth of Camden Town.
Tim, Kathy!
And here they are, the one and only girl singing Cratchit, newly returned from the drive and musical tour of Regent Park and the Euston Road.
How did you do, Tiny Tim?
10 halfpenny.
Well done. And you too, Kathy.
Another fantastic coup for young Timothy Cratchit, the financial wizard, at only 7 years of age, the youngest millionaire in the vast Cratchit empire.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may steal a moment of your valuable time, I would ask that you drink to the sparkling good health of the two gentlemen whose industry and generosity have made possible our sumptuous Christmas repast. Master Timothy Cratchit and Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge, what are you trying to do, Bob? Spoil our Christmas?
He paid for the goose, my dear,
No, your money paid for the goose, my dear.
but he paid me the money.
Because you earned it, my love. Believe me, 15 shillings a week and not a penny raised in 8 years.
Ethel, my dear, the children. Christmas?
Needs to be Christmas Day, Bob, to drink to a rotten, hard, stingy old miser like Scrooge.
What, Ethel?
You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, my poor love.
To Christmas, my dear?
Children, we shall drink to your father for all the love and happiness he gives us, and to Tiny Tim for the health we wish him. And for the sake of your father, I'll even drink to that old miser, Mr. Scrooge. Long life to him and to us all.
A Merry Christmas to us all.
Merry Christmas.
God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Some days are up days, some days are down days, some days are golden, some dark brown days. I never mind when we have blue days. They're always followed by we've come through days. We've had good times before and we'll have good
the Lord Mayor. If Her Most Gracious Majesty is feeling bored, I said, you just wheel her over to Camden Town, I said. A glass of Bob Cratchit's hot punch, and a song from young Tiny Tim, and we'll have her back on her regal feet in no time. Here's the punch. Now where's our song then, my Tiny Tim?
Tiny Tim, sing for us, Tim. Come on, Tim. Please. All right, Tim. On a beautiful day that I dream about, in a world I would love to see, is a beautiful place where the sun comes out and it shines in the sky for me. On this beautiful winter's morning, could come true somehow. Then the beautiful day that I dream about would be here and on this beautiful winter's morning, if my wish could come true somehow, then the beautiful day that I dream about would be here and now.
What an unpleasant child. You know, there are few things more nauseating to see than a happy family enjoying themselves at Christmas. Do you not agree?
I think Bob Cratchit's really rather fond of me.
So's his wife, couldn't you tell?
Oh, she doesn't really know me.
Oh, that is one of the few things wherein fate has blessed her.
What will become of him? The Tiny Tim?
What's this? Concern over a sick child? Have you taken leave of your senses?
Don't mock me, Spirit. Is the child very sick?
Well, of course he's sick.
Will he live?
What does it matter to you, Ebenezer Scrooge? If he is going to die, then he had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Come, Scrooge. We must go.
Go! Where are we going?
Scrooge, I have brought you home. My time upon this little planet is very brief. I must leave you now.
But we still have so much to talk about, haven't we?
There is never enough time to say or do all the things we would wish.
The thing is to try to do as much as you can with the time that you have.
Yes, but
Remember, Scrooge, time is short. And suddenly, you're not there anymore.
don't leave me! No, wait! Why is it so dark? I can't see! Why? Oh, why? I can't see! I can't see! Am I in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come? And are you to show me shadows of the things that are to happen in the time before us? Night is waning fast, and I know time is precious to me. Lead on, Spirit. Lead on.
And it was like right there on the bed. Right on the bed. And to cook him, where's one good or bad curtains to a dead man? And besides this, if he wanted to keep them when he died, he would have found a way. The old skinflint. They ought to bet a pretty nice price. They're not in bad shape. Maybe you should cut them up in pieces and sell them as souvenirs. Ow! Ow, you are such a
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night. I never thought he'd die. I thought he was too stingy.
Speaking of stingy, what did he do with his money?
I don't know. You can be sure he didn't give it to charity. The funeral's tomorrow. I suppose we should go.
I suppose. It's bound to be a very cheap funeral. Do you think that's a big lunch? You know, lunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today because we're united by a common bond. Namely, our feelings of gratitude to Mr. Ebenezer Scrooge.
Is this the future? But that's Tom Jenkins, the hot soup man. Owes me £6. He looks uncommonly happy for a man so deep in debt. But all of these people owe me money. Well, they love me. And I never knew.
Finally, hold your emotions and check if you please. We are all deeply moved. Those of us what has been in debt to Mr. S over the years will never forget the rare and beautiful thing he's just done for all of us. Right?
Right! Well, what did I do? What did I do? Whatever it was, has made them truly happy. And I am the cause. I will remember this to my dying day.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of all the people who assembled here, I would really like to mention, if I may, that our unanimous attitude is one of lasting gratitude for what the friend has done for us today. And therefore I would simply like to say, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. I may stand over Dutch, but my delight is such. I feel as if the losing wasn't one for me. And if I had a flag, I'd hang the flag out. And it's for a final 50 touch. But since I left this flag alone, I simply have to say, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Every day, you brought your comfy way. I never thought the future would be fun for me. And if I had a bugle, I would blow away. You hadn't thought of how your father cut. But since I left you, I will simply have to say, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
No, my dear friends, this I will say too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very, 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 very much. And if I had a drum, I'd have to bang it. You had a sort of Humpty Dumpty dog. But since I left me somewhere alone, I simply have to say, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
I am deeply moved. I had no idea the feelings from you were so strong. Oh, my goodness. Oh. Ratchet house. But why have we returned here?
Please finish reading to us, Mother. The light hurts my eyes, and I mustn't let your father see his eyes when he comes home. It must be near his time.
Past it. But I think he has walked a little slower these last 2 evenings.
I have known him to walk with Tiny Tim on his shoulder very fast indeed.
So have I. Often.
So have we. But he was light to carry, and his father loved him. So it was no trouble. No trouble.
There is Tiny Tim's crutch. But there is no Tiny Tim. Where is Tiny Tim? Take me to wherever he is. Oh.
Almost scared now, my little fella. I promised your mother I'd help her with the Christmas dinner. But I'll come again and see you tomorrow. Same time, All right?
Oh, Jim. Poor Tiny Tim. Spirit, you have shown me a Christmas yet to come that mingles great happiness with great sadness. But what is to become of me? Oh! Oh no, I beg you! No, please, I beseech you. I have seen the error of my ways. Truly, I will repent. Truly. After all. Oh. Perhaps it did. I'm alive. I'm alive! And I've got a chance to change. I've got a chance. Oh. And I will not be the man I was. I'll begin again. I will build my life. I will live to know that I fulfilled my life. I'll begin today. Throw away the past. And the future I build will be one that will last. I will take the time I have left to live, and I'll give it all I have left to give. I will live my days for my fellow men, and I live in praise of that moment when I was able to begin again. I will start anew. I will make amends. And I'll make quite certain that the story ends on a note of hope, on a strong amen. And I'll thank the world and remember when I was able to begin again.
Merry Christmas! Boy! Boy!
Boy! happen to know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up in the window?
You mean the one as big as me? It's still there.
It is. We'll go and buy it.
What's that?
Here are 2 sovereigns. Go and wake up the butcher and have him open up his shop. Bring me back that turkey, and I'll give you half a crown. Well, go on, run! Run! What a lovely boy. I think I'm going to like children. Oh, now that's what I call a turkey. Come along, dear boy. Now we'll open up the toy shop. Oh, thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Come along.
That was old Scrooge, wasn't it?
Mr. Scrooge.
Good morning, Mrs. Dawkins. Oh, Merry Christmas to you. I want some toys. I want lots of toys for all my young friends on this joyous day.
Yes?
Don't just stand there, madam. Make a list.
A list.
Of course.
Yes, Mr.
Oh, all right. I would like this, and this, and that, and 2 of those, and the flutes, and the bow and arrows, and the pretty dolly, and this, and this, and that. And how much is all that?
How much? Times 3 is 17 plus 4 is 35.
Oh, never mind. Here are some sovereigns. You can keep the change.
Thank you, Mr. Scrooge.
And I will require the services of several small boys to help transport these delightful objects to their destination. Each boy will receive half a crown.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you, my dear boy. Oh, and to your enchanting bride. We were just on our way to your house with some presents. Here. Here. These are for you from an old fool who deeply regrets the Christmas has gone by with which he might have shared with you.
Oh, Uncle Ebenezer, thank you. Christmas lunch shop at 3? Oh, may we expect you?
Oh, you may. I'll be there. My word, you are a pretty girl.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Ebenezer.
Christmas to you. Come on,
Just
I've got a surprise for you.
Bob Christmas, Bob Christmas. He's greatest man in your world. Your wife knows it. Merry Christmas, Bob Christmas. With great big diamonds here on back because the story shows it. And it goes over the light.
These, Bob Cratchit, are for you and for your lady. Oh, have to go now. Have many other calls to make. Come along. Ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Oh, oh, I almost forgot. Come on. Here we go. Oh, oh. Oh, this is for you. Christmas to you, Tiny Tim. Goodbye. Goodbye. Merry Christmas. You still don't recognize me, do you, Bob Cratchit? Help your family, Bob. First of all, we'll find the right doctors to help get young Tiny Tim well. And we will get him well, you know, Bob.
Yes, I'll believe you. I'll believe anything.
And may this be the merriest Christmas of all our lives.
God bless us, everyone.
Oh.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that
but things the way they are. I feel as if another life begun for me.
And if I answer the empty flag out, let's sort of find a victory touch. But since I left the flag at home, I simply have to say, thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
Oh, take it around that 6 pounds! Oh, you can keep it in my Christmas present. And to everyone else, all my debts are ready.
Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. It isn't every day to watch you come my way. I never thought the future would be fun for me. And if I had a cannon, I would have it. That sort of celebration's on. Since I left me Canada Hill, I simply have to say thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
We have 200 guineas. We almost put it for.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. The nicest thing that anyone's ever done. Thank you very much.
The future looks
Thank
so
you
bright.
very much.
In fact, it looks
Thank
so
you
bright.
very much.
I feel as if
Thank
the
you
farthest in
very,
the sun.
very, very much. If I had a drum, I'd have to bang it to add a sort of rumpty tumpty punch. But since I left me drummer at home, I simply have to say thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very, very, very much.
A Merry Christmas to you, my lovely new friends. I have to leave you now. Have to go and get ready. I'm spending Christmas with my family. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas. Oh, thank you very much.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Goodbye. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye. Merry Christmas. Oh. Hello? know whether or not I imagined the things I thought I saw. But between the pair of us, we finally made a Merry Christmas, didn't we? Merry Christmas, Jacob.
Merry Christmas, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Oh, Merry Christmas, you lovely old world.
Again today, we'll bring you